Now, I would like to introduce Chief Betty Holland.
We'll break down what we have learned after the press conference concludes.
Good afternoon. Thank you for joining us today and allowing us to provide an update on our investigation into Madalyn Soto's disappearance and death. Madalyn was reported missing on Monday, February 26, 2024, just one day after her 13th birthday.
The search for 13-year-old Madalyn Soto had ended in tragedy, as authorities had confirmed that her body was found in a wooded area in Osceola County, Florida, 5 days after she was reported missing.
Since then, our investigation has been relentless, fueled by the unwavering commitment to uncover the truth.
The Orange County Sheriff's Office announced the discovery on February 29th, stating they suspect her mother's boyfriend, Stephen Stearns, moved her body.
During our forensic investigation, we uncovered disturbing evidence, graphic images, and videos depicting crimes being committed. It was during this examination that we learned we needed to act swiftly to remove the suspect, Stearns, from our streets.
Search teams from the Osceola County Sheriff's Office located Soto's body at approximately 4:30 p.m. in a remote area off Hickory Tree Road.
Despite the arrest, our investigation into her disappearance remained ongoing. We understand the importance of thoroughly exploring every lead and piece of evidence.
Law enforcement officials notified Madalyn's family shortly after the grim discovery. During a press conference earlier that day, Sheriff John W. Mina expressed confidence that Soto was deceased, stating, "We have no additional information to release at this time. Kissimmee PD is the lead agency in this homicide investigation. That work continues."
The Kissimmee Police Department, along with other law enforcement agencies in Central Florida, continue their search for Madalyn for the next several days following her disappearance, and we turn to the public for help. During this time, our investigators combed through a significant number of tips, and on March 1st, we received information placing Stearns' vehicle in a rural area of St. Cloud, where ultimately Madalyn's body was discovered.
Sheriff Mina revealed that video footage showed Stearns discarding items in a dumpster at their apartment complex around 7:35 a.m. on February 26th, the day she was reported missing. "We believe she was already dead at that time and that Stephen Stearns moved her body in the early morning hours of that day," he added. Authorities recovered Madalyn's backpack and school-issued laptop from the dumpster, and at 8:19 a.m. on the same day, evidence showed Stearns returning to the complex with Madalyn visible in the vehicle. Kissimmee Police Chief Betty Holland confirmed that the case remains active and ongoing, indicating that further details could not yet be released to the public.
We are all deeply saddened by the outcome of Madalyn's disappearance. The Kissimmee Police Department continues to piece together the timeline leading up to the events that occurred. I want to address some questions we are receiving from the media in everyone's effort to keep the community up to date on this tragedy. At this time, Stearns is facing a total of 60 charges related to our investigation. This includes sexual battery, lewd and lascivious molestation, and unlawful possession of materials depicting sexual performance by a child. These charges reflect the meticulous work of our law enforcement community. Our detectives also are working closely with the State's Attorney's Office for the 9th Judicial Circuit and the Medical Examiner's Office on the investigation. Death investigations are complex. Tasks like forensic analysis and thorough interviews are crucial and require careful attention. It is vital to address these misconceptions in the pursuit of justice while preserving the integrity to the case. During an investigation such as this one, we gather additional information from individuals close to the deceased. Each person interviewed is treated as involved until proven otherwise.
Stephen Stearns was previously arrested on charges of battery and possession of child abuse material, although those charges were not directly connected to Madalyn's case. However, police have identified him as the prime suspect. A forensic examination of Stearns' phone revealed disturbing images and videos, and it was reported that he attempted to delete evidence prior to his arrest.
During our investigation, we have interviewed many individuals. Each interview has been vital to our understanding of the case. We are reviewing all of the information we received and are following up on every lead. Attention to detail and the diligence are the most important aspects of this investigation.
Stephen Stearns, 38, had been making phone calls from jail, which were recorded. During one of these calls, Stefan told his mother, "Understand that anything I did was not done while being in my rational mind." I had snapped at that point. I wish I had done the right thing to begin with. I wish I had run downstairs and shaken her awake and called 911 and all that. "I wish you had too," his mother replied. "Maybe she could have been saved."
Providing more details that we do not compromise the ongoing investigation. We vow to do everything in our power to ensure Madalyn's memory is honored with justice. Our detectives are dedicated to pursuing every lead, uncovering every fact, and holding those responsible accountable.
In reflecting on the tragic case of Madalyn Soto, it's crucial to address the deeply unsettling factors that contributed to her abuse and the circumstances surrounding her mother's inaction. Madalyn was subjected to abuse due to a combination of factors that often play a role in such tragic situations. The motivations behind why some individuals harm and kill children can be complex and multifaceted. It's important to approach this topic with sensitivity and an understanding that these actions are deeply troubling and often rooted in psychological and environmental factors. Some potential reasons could include: 1. Mental illness. Some individuals may suffer from severe mental health issues that impair their judgment and lead to violent behavior. 2. Abuse history. A history of being abused or exposed to violence during childhood can sometimes perpetuate a cycle of abuse, where individuals who are victims become perpetrators. 3. Lack of empathy. Some individuals may have personality disorders or traits such as psychopathy or narcissism that diminish their ability to empathize with others, leading to harmful behavior. 4. Power and control. Some individuals may harm others, especially those who are defenseless, to assert their dominance and fulfill a personal need for power. 5. Substance addiction. The use of substance can cloud judgment and diminish inhibitions, potentially resulting in aggressive actions that the individual may not engage in when sober. 6. Environmental factors. Difficult life situations, such as poverty, unemployment, or experiences of domestic violence, can foster environments where violent behavior is more likely to occur. 7. Isolation. A lack of social connections and feelings of isolation from family and community can heighten feelings of hopelessness or frustration, sometimes resulting in violent actions. In reflecting on the tragic case of Madalyn Soto, it's crucial to address the deeply unsettling factors that contributed to her abuse and the circumstances surrounding her mother's inaction. Madalyn was subjected to abuse due to a combination of factors that often play a role in such tragic situations. One significant factor was the presence of an individual in her life who sought power and control, exploiting her vulnerability for their own gratification. This exploitation was compounded by a lack of protective oversight from those who should have safeguarded her well-being.
Well, this was a very tragic event. I think that, like I said earlier, it's up to us, up to each family member to have those conversations with your kids and report any suspicion of abuse to your school resource officer, to an adult that's a trusted adult, to any police officer that's out there. So just report it and let the law enforcement community investigate. Okay. Thank you.
Madalyn Soto's 13th birthday party was on Sunday, February 25th. The party was at a relative's house and she was surrounded by family. But one person who wasn't there was her mother, Jen Soto. She was working. Madalyn's mother and father were not together. In fact, her dad married another woman a couple of months after Madalyn was born. But there was a man living in her house, her mom's boyfriend, Stephen Stearns. Stearns was at the birthday party, and at some point after that party and before she was supposed to be at school the next day, Madalyn was murdered. Stearns is the prime suspect because he was the last known person to be with her, and he's alleged to have hundreds of disturbing photos on his phone of Madalyn being sexually abused. Investigators are putting together a timeline. They have gathered surveillance video from the complex where they lived, tracking Stearns' movements. They also have license plate reader information and eyewitness statements, all connected to Stearns and his car. He is charged for all the images found on his phone, but has waived all of his court appearances.
The man accused of murdering a 13-year-old claims he has obtained confidential information about the case. Madalyn Soto was first reported missing in February of last year. Just a few days later, her mom's boyfriend was arrested on charges of sexual battery and child pornography. In April, he was charged with first-degree murder. And in June, State Attorney's Office announced that prosecutors are seeking the death penalty. Today, Stearns asked a judge to delay an upcoming court hearing. News 6 investigator Mike DeForest is at the Osceola County Courthouse with this unusual development.
At this point, the confidential information reportedly obtained by Stearns remains a big mystery. His lawyers refused to discuss it in court today. They would not even have a conversation about it with the judge behind closed doors. Stearns entered a Kissimmee courtroom and asked a judge to postpone an upcoming court hearing that his own lawyers originally requested.
My name's Mark. I work for the Kissimmee Police Department.
Last year, while being questioned about the disappearance of his former girlfriend's 13-year-old daughter, Madalyn Soto, Stearns claims law enforcement improperly seized his cell phone. Investigators say that cell phone contained images of Stearns sexually assaulting the teen. The defense plans to argue that evidence found on Stearns' phone is inadmissible and should not be shown to a jury. But on the eve of that court hearing, Stearns' lawyer asked for a delay.
The defense is coming to information that at this time the defense isn't in a position to be able to divulge to the court or in open court.
Stearns' public defender claims they recently obtained confidential information that could potentially change their arguments in that upcoming court hearing. But the defense refused to tell the judge what that confidential information might be, even behind closed doors.
So your good cause is secret?
Essentially, Judge. Well, I can't in good faith at this time, being that it's still being explored. I don't know which way it's going to go, if it's going to be something that's going to pan out in favor of defense.
Since the defense provided no details about that confidential information, the judge found no reason to postpone that evidence hearing. We will stream that evidence hearing live on clickorlando.com tomorrow, starting at 2 o'clock. Mike DeForest, News 6.
Stearns' trial for sexual crimes delayed to July due to evidence dispute by Randy Hildreth and Fox 35 digital staff, published April 24, 2025. The trial of Stephan Stearns, accused of heinous crimes against 13-year-old Madaline Soto, has been postponed to July. The delay allows the court time to rule on the admissibility of critical evidence, particularly data obtained from Stearns' phone, which he argues was seized without his consent. The judge is set to provide a written decision on the matter by June 30th. Case background. The delay was announced at a suppression hearing in Osceola County, where Stearns' legal team contended the evidence extracted from his phone and Google account was obtained unlawfully, as investigators lacked a search warrant. The state, however, maintains that the search was justified due to concerns that Stearns might destroy evidence. The defense claims Stearns only permitted access to specific apps and accuses law enforcement of exceeding their authority. Legal proceedings, Stearns' defense team is pressing for the exclusion of this evidence, which they argue was gathered in violation of his rights. The judge's forthcoming decision will determine which pieces of this evidence, if any, can be introduced at trial. Case details. Stephan Stearns, who was involved with Madalyn's mother, faces charges of first-degree murder and multiple counts of sexual abuse, following disturbing discoveries on his phone. The trial for these charges is scheduled for September 22, 2025. Madaline Soto, a middle school student, disappeared in February 2024 and was found deceased shortly thereafter. Key dates and developments. February 2024, Madalyn Soto reported missing, later found deceased. March 2024, Stephan Stearns arrested and charged with various crimes. April 2024, April 2025, numerous legal motions and hearings including defense's attempt to suppress evidence and restrict court access to media and public. June 2025, judge to issue ruling on phone evidence admissibility. This case continues to unfold as new information and legal motions are presented, with the community and media closely monitoring the proceedings. The tragic loss of Madalyn Soto is a heart-wrenching reminder of the vulnerabilities faced by children who are not adequately protected by those they trust the most. As a mother, Jennifer Soto had a fundamental responsibility to safeguard her daughter from harm. Unfortunately, by allowing Stephen Stearns into their lives, she inadvertently placed Madalyn in a perilous situation from which she couldn't escape. Despite any warning signs or instincts that may have surfaced, Jennifer's failure to act left Madalyn exposed to the monstrous acts of Stearns. This devastating oversight ultimately cost Madalyn her life, a loss that continues to resonate deeply with all who have been touched by her story. It stands as a somber testament to the paramount importance of vigilance and protection in the lives of our children. If you or someone you know is experiencing domestic abuse, please know that help is available. The National Domestic Violence Hotline is accessible 24/7 at 1-800-799-SAFE 7233, offering support and resources to those in need. Additionally, for concerns specifically related to child abuse, the Child Help National Child Abuse Hotline can be reached at 1-800-4-A-CHILD, 1-800-422-4453, or by visiting childhelp.org. They provide confidential assistance and guidance to ensure the safety and well-being of children. Let us honor Madalyn's memory by committing to a future where every child grows up in a safe and nurturing environment free from harm and fear. Together we can make a difference. Thank you for joining today's discussion. I'm Nancy Pusateri, and this is Rising Up. Our mission is to bring attention to these vital issues and empower everyone to identify and tackle them. Protecting our children is a collective duty that we must all prioritize. I encourage you to share your thoughts in the comments and subscribe to keep up with our upcoming topics. Your insights on Stephen Stearns' actions and perspectives on Jennifer Soto's responsibility and her child's safety are invaluable to this conversation. Thank you for being part of this crucial dialogue, and have a safe evening. Remember, it's your time to rise up and drive change.